E-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Play CSGO? Discover more than 5 various kinds of bets just for a single map. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins, but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CSGoFast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Welcome back to the Starladder iLeague Star Series Season 2. My name is TomBiz14. Joining me is Flakes, and well, we've just witnessed a dominating performance, but not quite from the team we expected it.
I think before we got into this, we were kind of getting ready to say, okay, EnVyUS, nice and smooth 2-0. That should have how it went, but it just didn't.
No.
There really is no kind of words in the dictionary that really come to mind to describe how that one did unfold. But for now, we go over to the second map. Mirage, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit worried, because Spirit, they are good on Mirage. We've talked in the past about how these teams do mimic each other's map pool. EnVyUS, on the other hand, they have played Mirage. It's a map in their map pool for sure. But the one problem with EnVyUS is, A, they don't necessarily play too much. They've not played in a little while. I think you mentioned they had 3 maps or something in the last 3 months.
Yeah, last 3 months, 3 maps on Mirage. So definitely not. And I think it was against NIP. They lost 16-5. Not really a good result. They beat Dignitas, who I'm not even sure, like, if you were looking at Envy versus Dignitas, they shouldn't really be in their realm, especially with the sort of lineups they've been changing, and the previous lineup was basically a QRB carry, and then you sort of look at all the others, and then they played a very close series against VP. And, well, we can actually see, well, supposedly Envy actually won the knife round and chose the T side, so that's an interesting factor in itself. Either way, we are going straight into this one. Already the Execute has come in onto the site. Will allow the bomb plant for EnVyUS to start things off, and clearly going for that T-side pick, thinking that they can do this as their sort of individual style. Either way, Apex is going to be the first to drop. No casualties before the round actually begins, but now everything seems to be stepping up for the Envy side. They found themselves a couple of kills, going to go very aggressive into the CT spawn to take out everyone else, but they're just pushing into Quebec and will run out of ammo eventually, and well, that's going to be it for Dima as well. So first round on the board for Envy, but not too confident just yet because we've seen so many successful force buys.
I think we can't read into this one too much just yet. That's going to be the key factor. But we are seeing Spirit put a little bit of investment into this round. We are starting to see the buys clock on. I can expect to see maybe a couple more players follow through. So overall, we are looking at this one going into standard force up. The Deagles and pistols come into play, some nades being expended. EnVyUS, on the other hand, well, they've got some SMGs on the board. They've got 2 rifles as well. So I'm going to be looking to see those rifles take the longer range battles. But let's talk positioning, because Spirit, they're going for this all-in gamble. They're wanting to hold off this B site. Not a single member over toward A.
Yeah, the only problem with that is already with the mid-control position, Envy should be able to feel out the map and just work out where they are pretty easily, especially when you look at the position from, I think it's Happy at the moment, over towards Palace, but they actually look like they're going to be rotating away and going back towards B, so maybe just the sort of even premise of them not pushing into this stack has almost made the opposite happen. We're looking at Devil over towards this position. I would like to see one of the SMGs go first. This is just a sort of classic tactic, but actually in the meantime, Happy, the second he pushes in here, he should realize there's no one there and they should swap. They have plenty of time, a minute left on the clock. I think they are now starting to realize as Happy now pushes out onto the site, and although they are building up towards this B site, I think they should slowly fade back, and there we go. They've realized there's nobody there. That's the value of that SMG. It wouldn't have been a huge loss if Happy had died. No offense to him, but he only had an SMG anyway. And that would just mean that now they should be able to rotate comfortably, plant the bomb, and have no trouble at all.
We're looking at what should be an open and shut case round for EnVyUS. Not a single mistake has been made so far. Will Spirit be able to do any damage at all? Happy, he's in a nice position. He should be hearing this just thundering roar of footsteps rolling on by. Apex going to go for the beacon. Well, this should be a mop-up. They will overextend slightly. Stop taking me out to find 2 frags. Makes that 3, in fact, just rattling off these shots with a pistol, making some frags on the board. But even then, it's going to be this 2 versus 2. The bomb going to be ticking away. Maybe a little bit of hope for Spirit to try and play with, but they don't really have a kit. So we should just see EnVyUS hold this one off. The shot will come away from MBK. Just finds the head. And Soptic, well, he's going to go for the save. Just taking that Mac-10 into that 3rd round.
Yeah, already made $900 from the headshots alone in that round, keeping a flash, an SMG that can make him $600 per kill. It's not the worst case scenario. Of course, they don't win the force by this time. They do a hell of a lot of damage, but most importantly for the French side, they've managed to keep themselves the AKs at least. So there's not been a rifle dropped over. It's not anything that's going to break the bank or really be too costly. And in fact, they are just going to upgrade a couple of, or at least one more player, Kenny, onto that rifle, just to make sure that this round is a little bit more secure. I do think that's a good decision from them, because one thing I have to say about their previous sort of second buy rounds or whatever buy rounds you see, a lot of them were only with 1 rifle, and that has so much risk behind it, because if things fall apart, as we sort of saw there, if they'd had like another SMG in play, they could have actually lost that round. So props to them going a little bit safer. I definitely think that that has been a bit more of a wake-up call, the fact that they have now lost their map pick, but they have at least got the pistol and can start getting up an economy a little bit, I hope, in this round.
There is no crazy force wars taking place this time around. Much more consistent play, just really playing off the strat book, looking to find themselves some nice and easy frags, and we'll play for the safe bomb plant. That's going to be the key factor. Just get that bomb down and just relax a little bit. Just don't mount too much pressure. Spirit, they're actually going to be going very aggressive towards mid now, diving straight through connector, looking to find themselves some quick frags, some quick information. But unfortunately, well, they fell hook, line, and sinker for a 1-man fake. Because Happy, he's done all of the work. You see Spirit there, Mirage bundled over towards A. EnVyUS on the other hand, they're just going to be jumping out the window, nice and calmly, getting that bomb down over towards the B site.
Yeah, now we look at what can actually be done. The other thing to mention is that realistically pushing into these sort of SMG positions and just giving away kills could actually be less valuable than just not dying. Either way, Happy going to be doing the damage, taking a nice amount of money already, 3 kills on the board for him, just leaving Coldy, and that's a quad kill. That's a huge amount of money made, 2,400 alone into that SMG, and well, we're looking at him on about 650 when the round begins. So nice work from them in this one. Could even drop an AWP over to Kenny if they wanted to, but it seems like they're just going to opt to go for a little bit of a bonus round, and then they can make that sort of decision in the next, with already you see 3 players in a reasonable position monetary wise. However, on the other side, Davkos with the AWP, so an avenue for Team Spirit to open up their game and start changing how this is rolling so far.
Really nice way to open things up. I'm hoping to see what Spirit can bring to the table here. Just looking for not too much aggression on their CT side. That's something they did pull off quite well on their T side. Already Demon knocked down a 14 HP. We do see a shot coming from Davkos. He will connect it straight onto Apex. The back and going to find one of his own. Makes that 2. Coley going to pick up 1 on towards MBK. And well, EnVyUS, it's a nice buy round you had there, but it looks like you're just getting walked all over. Kenny S is the last man standing. He's going to be looking for the bomb. But even then, you couldn't script that for the world, because Coldy, he made the last frag stick, and Spirit, they are going to find the buy round of all rounds to pick up.
Yeah, and that's a nice start for them, and a surprising one, really. I wasn't expecting that to be as easy as it was for them to just get into play. It doesn't look like they're going to go for anything too crazy in this round, just go for the nades and the AKs once again. This time, possibly going to take things a little bit slower, as they went very aggressive and ended up being punished for this sort of individual style of play. We did sort of see tweets coming out from Apex, the idea that they were falling back into this more individual play, this free style of play, the happy style of in-game leading, and I don't know whether that will work for them. A lot of teams that used to play that style have pushed away from it. Take NIP, for example, now with Threat as their coach. Either way, Dima, nice push onto short, will find that opening kill. Now going to go passive, not go for any sort of over-aggression. They have the AWP covering off for the lurk play over towards Palace, and will actually do a nice amount of damage onto Davkos, but we know how effective this guy can be, even with a slither of health.
Backen going to be holding close on connector. We do see Kenny find one just straight through the corner of the smoke. Backen, he is going to be the gatekeeper. MBK will find one of his own. Soptic going to try and claw back a bit of a trade, but it doesn't look like it's quite working out. Backen just rattling away with his peek. Peeks out straight through the smoke, finds himself 2. And the impact has been made because now Happy, he is all alone. A nice little island for him to try and play around. He's over on A site, just creeping around these boxes. Should have an idea where that bomb's going to be, but he also, most importantly, should have an idea of exactly where Kabakan is going to be holding. Can't seem to edge his way towards window. This could be a nice counter to this position taking place with this rifle. At the same time, he can't afford to make a single step because the minute he does, the flick, we're all in. But now he's going to spot him out. Delivers a nice and smooth headshot, takes him down, back to a 1 versus 1. Now trying to look to see exactly how Davkos wants to approach this round. But does he realize he's got that AWP in play? We should be seeing him just kind of expected almost, Davkos being the AWP of Spirit. At the same time, he's playing around time. The timing is not on his favour. Davkos will go for the peak, takes him down. It's going to be a round on the board for Spirit.
I feel bad for him because I actually feel like he had the read so nicely done in that situation. The other thing, up until that point, timing had worked wonderfully for him because he managed to get past the A-ramp position before Davkos was holding it, then walk past when Davkos switched to look towards A-ramp, and then get all the way around behind. The only problem was that flashbang, the one final step in his master plan, doesn't quite work out and he gets caught out. And, well, safer options, could have just gone and grabbed the bomb, but doesn't know exactly where Davkos is. And now we look at the sort of situation. They have a little bit to play with, again, going with those Deegs and a little bit of Tech 9 magic from Devil, but already Apex takes an 83 damage nade to start off the round, and Cody will get the first frag.
Kabakan going to find one of his own, just seems to be knocking them down one by one. As EnVyUS, they haven't had a single frag so far. Coldy just going to be doing some work of his own, just really bending his back over to do the damage in this round. Is now Happy, he's the last man standing. He's got the Deagle in play, going to be looking for a close range frag. Unfortunately, what he looks for is the AWP bullet from Davkos, as he will walk straight into it. It means we are seeing a very much a smooth sailing round for Spirit, as they will bring things back to that 3-3 marker. EnVyUS, they should really be knowing just how strong Spirit can be when you give them this much room. We've just literally come off the back of Spirit walking away with the first map. So what is getting to me at the moment is I don't feel like EnVyUS are reacting to any of these key players and the styles that they're playing, because for me, Spirit aren't changing too much up. We're still seeing Dima go for these unpredictable information plays at time. We're seeing Davkos just play this consistent AWP role. It's just not too much counterplay coming to mind.
Yeah, straight away we see those sort of information plays. They go very aggressive into Palace, trying to sort things out. They have actually got that AWP onto Kenny, which I think could be an important factor, as there we go. They push together. He will find the trade, but Dima's so quick to actually respond to that one that they weren't prepared for that secondary push. And again, the CTs are going to get away with a man advantage. Dima even going to go for a slight re-peek, looking to try and find a little more. Devil will be aware of his position, but not going to find anything in terms of this round just yet. Happy going to be pushing onto the site and could find a little something, as they have taken over Palace, but left the site very open in itself. But Cody, he reacts, finds the frag, and this is just going to leave 2 players left to try and fight this one back.
David just being allowed to move freely, will go for the peak, gets punished by Devil towards the end of things. That's a nice frag to come in the board, but even then, they don't quite have the advantage just yet. Devil on 9 HP, not at all what he was hoping for. They're creeping up towards B, but then look at Sophic. This is the best possible position he could find himself in. Kabakan going to be wrapping in from behind. Well, congratulations, EnVyUS, you've got yourself in a box. Sophic will be the man to open things up, takes down Devil. Now Kenny Aspel, he's going to be trying to cause something out of this round, but some would say something out of nothing. In a 1 versus 3, his one escape point will be underpass. We're seeing Holly just quick for the rotate. Kenny Aspel will hit the flick, so he takes Sophic down. Should be able to get a clear pass on towards B. No one really there to be able to hold him off. Now it's going to be his 2 versus 1. Coldy just playing the passive card, will allow the bomb plant to come in. That's a smart call. The 2 versus 1, much better odds than a 1 versus 1, especially against a player like Kenny. It's going to be his AWP in play. Kenny should have spotted him out there. He should know exactly where Kabakan is coming from.
I'm not sure he did, and that's going to be a big problem, as now Kabakan will get the free frag to end this round a little bit anticlimactic. And unfortunately, that will mean that that's going to be another round on the board for the CT side. Envy still not able to make this one stick. The bomb plant, after 4 rounds in a row, should allow them to come back with a bite if necessary, but depending whether they want that AWP in play, we may see something a little bit different. It looks like Kenny is just going to skimp into this one a little bit, and I think that might be a smart decision. It means in the next round, if they do the same, then get a buy back up and he can still have the AWP.
Of course, now going into things, that means those 2 Galils going to be looking to do some damage of their own. I do see the Tech 9 on Kenny, as you've previously described, which can do the close range damage, but it will be Davkos already just hitting the leg shot, knocks that Happy down to 17 HP, nowhere near how he wanted to open things up in this round. And the one thing that does get to me is Spirit. They're allowed to walk around so freely on short, just using the tips of short to whatever they will. The one thing EnVyUS are trying to do is barrel out on towards B, and it will work out in their favour. Apex and Devil going to find one of their own, looking for just one more. Davkos going to be rattling for a couple of shots from Market. Nothing quite going to connect just yet. He will knock Devil down to 10 HP, though. That's going to be something for him to work with. But now, will a shot walk his way? It seems so. Apex going to peek on right into him.
And it looks like the remaining teammates have actually already opted for the save, so Team Spirit not going to be challenging 2-1. And this is going to be the big thing for me. Now we see a buy round come on the board for Envy. If they can get themselves to, say, 5, 6, maybe even more, then we will have a much better scenario for them going into this round, or this half, I should say. After the pistol, that is sort of a valuable position to be in, but at the same time, they can't be broken straight back. That's the more problematic scenario. Their monetary position is not a good one. The CTs are definitely going to have enough to actually buy back up in the next round, with Kabakin and Davkos currently over the sort of 8k mark, and, well, now we're looking to see whether EnVyUS can actually make this one stick, or whether they will be going straight back to pistols yet again. But, as we said, Kenny was already saving. The round win was not so expected for the rest of his team, meaning now he can get that AWP, drop the rifle over, and the rest of the teammates will be able to save a little bit of extra cash.
I'm still just a little bit worried, because the one thing that EnVyUS haven't been able to get going is this consistency of stringing some rounds together. Spirit have always been there to walk all over them in terms of map control, take themselves some presence, and find those quick trades. And already we're seeing that just come into effect. Davkos going to go for the aggressive peek towards Connector, finds a frag, takes down Apex, looking for one more. EnVyUS aren't going to be looking to go for this peek just yet. Davkos just doing the same, won't quite find the follow-up shot straight through the smoke. But Kenny, he's going to find himself a little dunk, doing the work with the HG grenade. Dima, quick on the trade, comes back in EnVyUS's favour. There was MBK there to do the work of his own. But now Davkos, he's there with the AWP, just rocking off a couple of shots. Eventually we're taken down by Devil, but it's going to be this 1 versus 2 in action. Kabakin and Coldy looking to pick up another round for the Spirit side. But Devil, well, he's looking to just rain down some hellfire onto these two players. Finally looking to find a round for the French side. But even then, he's placed on the back foot. He's got full HP. He's got some utility to work with. Most importantly, he has the bomb. But can he outplay the minds of Spirit?
Well, this is very smart. He's almost dedicating the fact that one will come through this position. If they don't, then he gets himself a free plant over towards that A site. The footsteps, I'm not sure if they're going to actually reach the position of Coldy. And this does mean that, oh, it looks like he may have an inkling. Going to be rotating his way back. Does have the majority of the HP on his side of things. The peak will be coming in. Coldy holding the position and grabs him through the box. That's really nice work from the CIS player. And, well, they've got themselves a 5th. And the money, well, it's not bad, but it definitely isn't good from the EnVyUS side.
Yeah, it's not quite what we were hoping for just yet. We do see a bit more money being expended into this round. It will be those rifles and Tech 9s coming back into play. 3 Tech 9s, you're trying to force these close range scenarios, and there's one thing that we've really been railing on in this game, is that Spirit, they're doing that job, but they're doing it just better. And that's what it comes down to, and that's not something I expected to be saying when preparing for this match. We were looking at saying EnVyUS, they are the French team. They've got a lot of passion, a lot of skill, and a lot of raw skill at that. It just doesn't appear to be working out as Coldy. He's going to find the first shot, takes down Apex, the back, and finally going to get traded out by Devil. Happy finding one of his own. Devil's actually going to miss a crucial AWP shot, which means this could go back into the French favour. There's now a couple more shots being routed away. MBK just having a huge impact. Finds 2 of his own. It's all going to be on Sophic. He's got this M4 in hand and a 1 versus 3. Going to be looking to get himself up on towards Ticket Booth, trying to have a bit of an impact. But MBK is there to deliver him a crisp headshot. Will deliver, well, him a very much cranium-less body. It means that now EnVyUS, they have clawed things back to 5-5.
Yeah, and more importantly, not only have they already got 5 rounds, this is starting to look a little bit more safe for them. They've only got themselves 2 buy rounds, but they have actually done a hell of a lot of damage to the economy on the opposing side. What this means is, yes, in the next round there'll be a buy. Coldy will probably even be able to buy an AWP for Davkos, but they have that chance to actually really do some damage to this CT economy, and more importantly, they have a big chance to get themselves 6th in this round. Of course, they've got to do it against the Pistols. We saw some huge sort of upset rounds where I just feel like they were just isolated, but it will be MBK to find the first. Playing much more passive in this scenario, and Kenny not taking any sort of risky shots, just waiting to see if he can hit a crucial one rather than being traded out. In the meantime, we're already seeing quite a lot of damage being done to the other side of things. Nade's going to be thrown out, and the push will actually come onto this B site, now taking over almost all positions on the map. Almost getting caught out, though, is Kenny. Got to be a little bit careful. Will lose his AWP for a second, I imagine. It will be picked straight back up again by Apex, so no real harm done. And a 6th round on the board for MD.
EnVyUS finally beginning to at least give us the place markers for stringing things together. But I have to ask them, can they keep it going? We've seen very much a rough gameplay style coming out from them. They're trying this kind of looser setup. Not a big fan so far, They are starting to bring just a couple together. They're on 2. Can they make it 3?
Yeah, this is what I'm sort of looking towards now. Of course, we are going to see, is this a running boost? Really going for something a little bit risky, trying to get past that warp threshold of Davkos, but he's actually not taking that peak this time. He's going for a little bit of a switch up over towards that A-site corner, just playing right towards the back position. Apex taking over the connector point, and this time they've got full mid control, which is something that EnVy have not been able to work with before, and it seems like there's a reason why you don't want to give that to them. Already 2 opening frags. MBK going to continue his aggression and hit the headshot onto Sopvik as well. This is now looking like a real problematic scenario for Spirit, in fact, and after what was a strong start on the buy rounds, things are starting to look much more, well, damaging at least, as they're now going to be possibly even losing the half, as now 2 players are opting to try and save at the end of it all, although I don't think they're going to have too much to buy up with anyway.
That's kind of the big problem. They're going to be looking to at least save this AWP and M4 if they can get away. They're seeing kind of the inkling that EnVyUS want to go for the hunt. You do look at Happy, he's over towards ramp. Nothing quite connecting just yet. He's nowhere really near. Taking just a little bit too long to maybe go for this hunt, which means we should almost be seeing a guaranteed save rolling in now from Spirit.
Yeah, it should have the opportunity, although I am looking at the position of Devil, who may be able to catch one out. That, of course, too quick on the trigger, won't allow him to get that AWP out of his hands, and that could be the one catalyst they do have going into this one. The potential to drop a couple of FAMASs is at least there if they want to go for a buy in this round. But at the same time, if they were to just sort of save and get the 2,900 in the next, they'd have a buy either way. And, well, surprisingly, this time it is actually Apex. Over on their T side, it seems as they got 7 rounds. The fact that their entry fragger hasn't been doing too much is quite surprising, but it's more been MBK doing that entry fragging role, picking things up, opening up rounds, finding the initial frags. And when they have been doing better on the T side, it's a lot come down to him. Either way, Kenny still having a reasonable sort of position, but not anything crazy, not the sort of Kenny of old that we still dream of coming back. But at the same time, well, if MBK continues on this T side, we could be looking at a 10-5 sort of half.
Dima, they're going to open things up with a nice little shot with the pistol. Takes Happy down, so not going to be too pleased about that one. As we do see, well, Spirit, they don't have a terrible buy going to this one. They still have the pistols. But the M4 and the AWP, that could have a nice impact. And now Dima, he's gained himself another rifle on the board, which means that majority-wise Spirit, they've got a lot to play with. But they want to find these kind of lurk frags almost. They just, if they can pick up a nice couple of impacts, they could leave EnVyUS just kind of stunned for words. There's now Sopvik, he's going to find another, doing the work that's easy. A quick trade roll, and MBK going to be looking to do the damage. Finds himself a second, takes down Coldy as well, which means that we should be seeing a clear-cut round for EnVyUS now. They shouldn't be allowing any more frags on the board for Spirit because they've got control of the site. Of course, his AWP could make a bit of a change. Going to be looking directly towards the shot, and it will just land. MBK going to find one of his own, making it a 3K. Looking to have just a little bit more, but it will be him just rattling away the shot to the clock. Connects it, takes down Kabak, now it's all going to be on Davkos. He's got the rifle in play, just going to be looking to get himself out of window, but he's going to walk right into the crosshairs of Devil. And EnVyUS will make that round stick. They got themselves to 8.
How much does MBK actually need to do at this point? 17-5, top of the board, finds a quad kill in a round that shouldn't have been that difficult to achieve. The pistol's doing far more than really expected, and, well, you just look at the amount of money he alone has in comparison to, say, Apex. It really is a sort of completely different scenario. He is 12k, Apex is struggling with $50, and, well, we are going to now see this aggressive push. Some aggression from the CT side. There's going to be a straight-up brawl, but the Ts will come out on top, taking that early aggression. Now, well, this hasn't paid off at all for Team Spirit on their map pick as well. Already looking like it's about to be a 9th round unless the remaining couple of players really can do the work. And Happy, he knows exactly where this one is. Nice, easy frag for him. Has been playing this lurk role much better on Mirage, it has to be said. And, well, now, well, we didn't really get to see too much of their T side, to be fair. But now we are just looking at this man, Davkos. Started off very well, opening up a lot of rounds. Has gone a little bit quiet towards the end of the half. And I think that's been the big difference, really.
Indeed. He's just going to be this one man trying to go for a save. That's what he's hoping for. The bomb is going to begin to tick away. Has just gone down, so EnVyUS making themselves very much a force to be reckoned with going to this second map. Should be able to pick up 9. There really is no question, unless Davkos is absolutely huge. She will find a shot on towards Happy, but he's in this save scenario. Apex is going to be catching him completely off guard. Well, after what seemed like 8 or so shots, eventually will force him to hit the deck. As EnVyUS will get themselves onto 9. They've strung 5 together so far. Spirit, on the other hand, not looking so good. As now, well, they just have 2 options. We're either going to be going for that 10-5 scenario, 4 to that 9-6.
Yeah, and well, there's... Normally we'd be looking at the other side of this. It has to be more brutally said that realistically after the start, I was thinking, okay, Team Spirit, they're just going to continue where they left off. EnVyUS not going to step up, and it was just a complete change, mainly from what we saw from MBK. Really big rounds coming out of him. The aggressive push as a retaliation from Team Spirit did not work out at all in the last round. And, well, now they're going to be left with next to nothing. A scout onto Davkos. Famis is across the board except for on Kabakin, who has next to no nades. But they do manage to start things off nicely. The lurk role of Happy will be taken out. We're seeing a sort of split push coming in at the moment from the T side, which does leave a lot of players currently isolated and could work out in the CT's favour. Dima been a lot quieter, has had some moments over towards this short position, but not able to do too much. Apex will find a frag and opens things up once again. 4 versus 4, and now they are just going to rush onto this side. MBK finding another. There's Devil, and they all combine at once to open this A side up to just 2 more players surviving. The push will be well timed though, but MBK just there again, and Apex now chiming in to bring himself back up the board. But just look at this hard carry, 20 to 5.
You look at the rest of the board, and I'm almost going to go as far to say that if MBK wasn't playing right now, wasn't having the game, I don't want to say game of his life, but having one hell of a game, 20 to 5 scoreline, I would kind of look at this and go, Spirit, they might have actually had a much better half, especially considering they've already found 5. I reckon it would have been at least a lot closer.
Well, yeah, no, he's been an absolute catalyst for them here, dragging them through a lot of these rounds. Kenny's had some impact, and I have to say Happy has been better playing this sort of individual lurk style role in this half. Apex even woke up a little bit towards the end, which does look a lot better for their CT side if they're all sort of kicking, but at the same time, it is one of those scenarios where you say, can he continue to do this all the way through? And that's a very difficult scenario altogether. It depends how well positioned and how their CT side setups work. And, well, their Cobblestone CT side was pretty damn poor. They managed 4 rounds, but at the same time, if they get themselves 4 rounds on the CT side of Cobble, getting 6 rounds on the CT side of Mirage shouldn't be a tough ask at all. Indeed.
We're looking to see what strategy they want to bring to the table on their T side for the Spirit perspective. Are we going to be leaning towards much more aggressive styles, which we've seen from them in the past? We saw Dima, for example, just being this player that wants to pop out, find himself a 2K, and then back off into the shadows. Or we'll start to see almost a changing Spirit where they fall back to this almost constructed, passive style of play, where they play this default, and then from there get themselves into an execute.
Well, the thing for me as well is on Cobble, having a sort of hot-headed run-and-gun scenario can work very nicely, especially the amount of times they hit B. That really does work. Running up ramp on A, it works as well. On Mirage, it's just not quite the possibility to run in and find those entries as easily. It's not the same sort of factor. There's a lot more long-range positions which will work much more nicely for the CT side. Also, especially if there's that potential for the double AWP setup, things can become much more difficult. We are going to see that pistol round coming in now for the EnVy side, and only the kit onto Kenny. We look at the remaining players. There's only Sophic with any other utility, as Kevlar is going to be the main form of purchase in this round. And already we're looking at, well, whether or not it'll be a fast play. It looks like it will be. Straight up Spirit running towards the man himself. MBK had a phenomenal first half. If he can add to it now, that would be very nice, but it's Devil to find the first. Now looking at MBK, just positioning himself nicely, grabs another one, and this is already looking pretty bleak for the remaining 2 players, Coldy and Sophic, to save this.
Seems like it's just not working out in their favour. It will be EnVyUS to pick up the round. Kenya's going to be the man to deliver that final shot. And now they got themselves onto 11, so a much more decisive pistol round. Going into their favour, are we going to see that force that coming from Spirit? We can already see Sophic kicking back into action. He's going to have the Deagle armour in play. And I think the rest of the teammates are, of course, going to follow suit.
Yeah, the one person I'm sort of looking towards is actually Davkos, who looks like he will save a little bit of money. I think this is more the idea that if he doesn't, he may not actually get that AWP because, well, they are running out of time. That's the big thing for them here. Going to try and make this work as much as possible. Kenny going to be taking long-range duels with the Famis, which is not where this weapon is primed. And, well, to come back and just hit a jumping headshot, because that's what it seemed like. Either way, Happy definitely there for the cross. Will even back up the scenario and leave this into a 4v4.
Looking to take it one step further. Will be going to be rounding up a couple of shots towards Happy. He's going to be in a bit of an awkward scenario now because he's cornered on all sides, being pushed in from every angle. The one benefit he has got is the fact he can't quite get up close and personal due to window being a bit of an awkward one to jump into. He's going to be like trying to get away with his life. They have actually kind of left him, I wonder, but Devil and Happy, they're going to do the work. Cold Eat will find one of his own, takes down Devil. So quick trade nonetheless. It's going to be this 2 versus 2. He tries to go aggressive, tries to repeat similar success. But this time around, there will be no fluke. Take that headshot to do the damage. Coldy will be trying to rattle off a couple of shots with the P90. He might take MBK down to 14 HP. And unfortunately, 14 HP is not a frag. And it's not him winning a 1 versus 2, as now the long defuse will roll in. And EnVyUS, they're going to get themselves to 12. When does Spirit start to worry?
Now. They do have the potential. I'm looking to see what they actually opt to do in this sort of scenario, but I think the time for worrying is a little bit far gone because they're 12-5 down. They lost a pistol that really could have changed the game. It's the difference between being, well, say 8 rounds behind and only being 2 behind if they win the follow-up rounds behind it, which is very difficult when you're facing off against EnVyUS anyway. They did some damage. They are going to be able to buy up a few pistols into this round yet again and try and do a little bit more. But the fact is they're going to have to string so many rounds together and basically pray that they can do the same sort of thing onto Cobble, except this time they're not the one with the advantage. They're not going to be able to play these risky plays, but that is a lovely shot to take Kenny out of the round. That's twice now Pistols have managed to dominate him in mid, and I would say that could be down to the fact that he is trying to do it with a rifle and not the trusty AWP.
You said you were looking at Davkos in the past, maybe to be more economical perspective, but now we're looking at him because of, well, a huge shot that was delivered. Devil will trade things back, doing the work with the Mag 7. I have a feeling his position might just be a bit of a one-trick pony, as he's going to be forced over towards jungle. So now Spirit, well, they're actually putting themselves precariously on the back foot. They've got this rifle in hand on Kabakan. They still have 3 pistols. That's going to be a little bit of a worrying prospect. We can already tell they are going to be heading towards that A site. That's where they've painted that target. But the crossfire of Devil and Apex, this could be crucial. One problem they've got, Devil, he seems like he's got, because he's got the Mag 7, seems like he's opting for the USP. Hasn't quite got the range to make the Mag 7 work, of course. Maybe we prefer him just playing close on stairs.
And we're looking to see what the T's can do here. If they can get the bomb down, I feel like that's already a success. We're looking towards what Apex can really make the difference here, and already they're going to line up. That's a nice easy 2K. Make that a 3. One more player. His position is very well known. 6 HP, and Apex may just be able to single-handedly close this round out, which he will. A couple of crossfires in play, but ultimately he does the work. Now, the buy will come back in, and this really is a big buy for Team Spirit. Talking about the fact that if they are sort of unable to win this round, the likelihood is they'll either have to force in the next or eco. Obviously, if they get the bomb plant, it's a sort of different scenarios. They should be able to buy no matter what. But this could be the only time that Davkos actually has the AWP.
Well, that's the thing. When you're basically given one chance, you have to stand up and take it. If you don't just get up and find yourself a quick shot and make it work, then he could find themselves watching the second map run away from him right in front of his eyes. We can see him just bearing down a mid, looking for a frag. Will be Kenny. Nothing quite going to walk into his crosshair just yet. He's going to be holding on top of those boxes to see if anyone will go for a bit of a crazy jump. Davkos, on the other hand, he's just not going aggressive at all, really just playing this one very precariously. I have a feeling there might just be a bit of a reason for that, as it will be holding off. He finds one, goes to the second Apex there to find the trade. Perhaps not the greatest piece of aggression in the world. He's now happy. He's going to be holding towards the tipper connector, but this is a beautiful position. He hasn't quite spotted a player, though. The tip of the smoke just working out hugely in his favor, as he will find one, takes down Sophic, just looking for one more with the Tech 9.
Yeah, now, well, you can actually see the positions being held. MBK very aggressively over towards the apartments area. Not going to allow them to go towards this position. Davkos has managed to get himself out onto short, and that's going to be a tag. Not quite the kill. 2 players low now. As this AWP not quite able to rain the terror they would hope for. Apex should be taken out now by Kabakan, which opens up this A site almost cleanly. They're going to have to rotate very quickly, but look at Kenny's position. He's going to be the one to try and stop this. The flash will throw out, but they don't actually have smoke. There's no smoke. He should be primed and ready to stop this one. Should be able to bang through the box. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do too much, as MBK now falls in the meantime after being tagged heavily. And Kenny, he's been unable to do anything in this scenario so far. And the crossfire is really going to come in over towards jungle as the 2 players push towards ramp.
What a very awkward scenario. The bomb just going to be ticking away. Spirit trying to find something in this round. If they can hold this one off, this would be huge. But happy he's now looking to go on a bit more of an aggressive foot. Kenny is playing this lurk style. They're just wasting time, and this alone it could prove to be very problematic. So they do have the kits in play. Go back, and he's going to find one. Takes down Kenny back on the reverse trade. Happy to going to be toggling it up fuse, but he's in a very awkward one. He will find the first strike. Now whipping out the Tech 9, but he's left this one well and truly too long. EnVyUS, you've just wasted crucial seconds. In Spirit, they will walk away with the round.
Yeah, the big problem for me is EnVyUS at that point had no nades. And after I saw the 2 players with no utility to play with, the only way they were losing that round was from huge mistakes coming out from Team Spirit. So, the big factor there, they managed to get that round on the board. They are going to be coming back in, an AWP and a scout, jump scout. Still going to expect a lot from MBK. We know he is the almost prime player for this very weapon. It's almost as if he hasn't been nerfed at all. But at the same time, Dafkos will get his AWP back in play. Apex also going to be suffering, and Devil even going to be out of the round before anything really hits off. We're looking over towards Apex in the scenario. The flash, not quite timed to perfection. It will blind him, but it doesn't matter if Apex is already dead. And this round is looking like a pretty bleak scenario. A chance now for Spirit.
They are, of course, going to be looking to sink their teeth into the second half, get themselves back into action, because they don't want to let EnVyUS walk away with this one. This is their lifeline, their free opportunity to try and contest this map as much as possible. Of course, they still have a third map to play with. They do have the advantage. They found themselves too, Apex and Devil being the two to have fallen. But MBK, he's looking to return the favour. He's got the scout in hand, should I say, just trying to rattle off a couple of shots. But, well, he might be going for the jumps. Doesn't like anything that's going to come his way just yet, as now go back and gets himself up towards window. Some nice positional play coming in from Spirit. That's the one thing that I think really deserves to be commented on when it comes down to the way they construct themselves. But overall, EnVyUS looking very much confused. They don't quite know where they're going to be heading just yet. They will try to go for a bit of a shot. Happy nearly makes a mess of things, but finally makes it stick. Takes down Davkost. There's still going to be this 3 versus 4, and we're happy. If there was a way to present yourself on a platter to go back in here, just come and get me, that was it.
Now we see the jump scout. Can he make this work like it used to be? He's found one already, looking for a little bit more. Gonna go for the no-scope. Now getting closed down, but that's a nice headshot. Bringing it back to a 1 versus 1. Kenny versus Dima. Dima spraying away. Kenny has the AWP and Molotov, the time on his side. But really, we're just looking at this rifle. Can he make it work? No, he can't. Kenny will close things out. Great play again from MBK. What a no-scope.
How much does one man have to do to secure EnVyUS a win here? That's all that comes to mind. If he didn't find that no-scope, that round was, for me, almost an open and shut case. Spirit would have just walked away with it.
I'm sort of imagining MBK with like a little Dora Explorer like backpack and just having like all the others sort of sat in it at the moment. He really is just, he's on fire. Still, have to give props to Kenny managing to find the 1v1. Could have overplayed his hand in that scenario, but he allowed, I think, Dima to push into his crosshair and take that frag. So a nice passive setup. Money, still not great for either side, but much, much better for the French. And this does mean that it's just going to be pistols and a sort of last-ditch effort coming out from Team Spirit. They won't have too much more unless they get a bomb plant in this scenario, and the crossfire is already in play. They're pushing into MBK. Doesn't manage to grab that second kill, but Happy still holding down the line as he grabs one more. This is just going to leave a couple of players left to fight against 4. Burning away, Happy will push out at the last second as a couple of players are taken down. But at the same time, it should be nice and easy. They get themselves one more. And although a nice bit of damage is done, it's still going to be the same buy coming in for Spirit in this round.
Well, that's the unfortunate prospect when you just take a look. You take a deep dive in their economy and, well, they kind of ruined it for themselves almost. Because now they've had to go for these continual force-ups to try and bring their way back into the game. Always very much EnVyUS-esque in the way they approached the ending of that first map. Now they've left themselves with not much at all to play with. Just these Tech 9s, the solitary P250 in the hands of Saltvik. And, well, we've been saying how much can MBK do, how much can these pistols do, especially when you take into account Apex. He's getting very close to this M4, an aggressive push. They work out usually in his favour, so they are just going to be pushing on right in.
Cody will find the first frag already. A second one comes in for Dima. It is going to be an advantage at least. Happy going to throw out the flashbangs, going to try and do the damage. Goes very aggressive. Actually finds one through the head. What was that? Grabs the bomb planter almost by accident. And that's going to leave this in a 2 versus 2. Sophic will find one more, but the man himself is MBK to close this out. Spraying away, not quite finding it. Goes down to 17, but he grabs this one. A 16-6 again. 13-8 for MBK.
There was no way Happy knew that second man was there. It was right through a flash as well as a smoke. That is potluck in a nutshell. Happy going in huge in that round. The drop down perfectly timed. And well, it's almost prevalent when you take a look at these stats. MBK and Happy, the figurehead standing at the top. 3.75 KD. I think it really speaks for itself.
Yeah, no, an absolutely phenomenal performance from MBK, and even ended out the map to just make it that icing on the cake. Now we go on to a map that, well, a while ago you would have said that they were probably the best team in the world. Not been for quite a while now. It definitely has moved around to different teams, but let's see whether or not they can make this full comeback, make their way into the semi-finals where they will, or one of these teams will face off against Dignitas. We'll be back in just a moment.